class, Mrs. Calvi here. Quick tutorial on converting customary units. This is 8182 in our textbook. If you notice here, I have that I want to convert 93 inches into feet. So when we are converting, there are going to be 4 steps to converting. Now, step 1 is you're going to look at a chart. I have a chart in, it's attached to the assignment in Google Classroom. I also have it in the notes section in Google Classroom. And in this case, I'm talking inches to feet. So I would go to my chart, and this is what my chart looks like. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you so you can see. Oh, too much. Hold on. Okay. So I'm looking for inches and feet. I'm looking for one of something equal to a larger number of the other unit. So if you notice, right here, it says 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. So that's what I'm looking for. So step 1, look to see exactly the units we're talking about. We're talking about inches and we're talking about feet. Step 1, go to the chart. Look for how many inches are in 1 foot. I see that it's telling me that 12 inches are equal to 1 foot. So then step 1, I wrote that down from the chart. 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. Now my step 2 is to come up with a proportion, starting with the proportion with the information from the chart. So I'm starting with this information here. The 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So I'm actually going to write 1 foot is to 12 inches. Okay, I'm setting up my proportion. So if you remember proportions, our numerators have to be talking about the same unit, and then our denominators have to be talking about the same unit. So step 1, I went to the chart to figure out how many inches equal 1 foot. I wrote that down. Step 2, I'm taking that information from the chart and I'm starting my proportion. I always start with the 1 on top, whatever that's talking about. So in this case, 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. Now the second part of my proportion is going to be the information from the problem. That's the 93 inches to feet, okay? So we already said that the numerators have to be talking about the same thing. So this numerator has to be talking about feet, and this denominator is going to have to be talking about inches. Now within our problem, did they give us how many inches or how many feet? They gave us how many inches. So I'm going to plug in that 93 into my denominator. Now, do I know how many feet? I don't know. That's my unknown. That's what I'm looking to solve for. So that's where, of course, I'm going to put my unknown, my variable. So now I set up my proportion. Step 3 was using the information from the problem. So I just want to repeat. Step 1, go to the chart, look for the information, the units that we're talking about within the problem, inches and feet. Step 2, use the information from the chart to make up the first half of your proportion. And then step 3 was to use the information in the problem, which is the 93 inches to feet, to make up the second half of your proportion. Okay, so this was actually, let's see, this was actually step 3. So this, oops. Okay, so this was step 3. Okay, now the last and final step is step 4, and that's going to be solving our proportion. Okay, now in order to solve this proportion, we are going to cross multiply. I'm always going to start where my variable is. So I'm going to cross multiply going this way first. So 12 times x gives me 12x. Then I'm going to do 1 times 93, or 93 times 1 is going to give me 93. Now, we all know how to solve an equation to get the variable by itself. In this case, we are talking when a number is right next to a variable, a numeral is next to a variable, that's multiplication. We always have to do the opposite to get the variable by itself. So in this case, we are going to divide to get the variable by itself. Whoops. Okay. Divide both sides by 12. These 12s cancel. I finally have my x by itself. That's what I wanted. And now I have to do a little bit of math. 93 divided by 12. This part you can do in the calculator, okay? This is all the work you're showing for me, but the actual math part you can do in the calculator. So x, if I were to do this in the calculator, I would get 7.75. And the missing unit here, we are solving for feet. So that would be 7.75 feet, or 7 3/4 feet. So that means 93 inches is equal to 7.75 feet, and that would be your final answer. So remember, when you are converting for customary units, you have 4 steps. Step 1 is to go to your chart first. Step 2, start creating your proportion with the information from the chart. Step 3, complete your proportion with information from the problem in the book. That was this part up here. And then step 4 is to actually solve your proportion by cross-multiplying and solving for your unknown. Okay? So until next time, I'll see you soon.